y'all. Welcome to this week's episode of Ducking Reality. In the pond with me today and back for our decompression
whoop, 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 whoop.
is Brenda Wood.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. We survived Burning Man.
Oh, we did. It was a rough one too, Siobhan.
It was very rough.
You did so good for your first burn. I would burn with you again. Firstly,
that is the
my
biggest
review of our gracious host is she's a wonderful burner and a great friend, and she just fits seamlessly not only into burner culture but into my particular group of friends. So I hope to see you more.
Yes, you will.
You were so good.
Thank you. Yeah, Shad, who we camped with at one point, was like, thanks for being radically self-reliant, not Shad-reliant. And I almost teared up.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, you really handled yourself well out here. And I was just like, thank you. And he was just like,
that's
a
huge
good job.
compliment from him.
Yeah.
He looks for that. No, Shad is a very,
I felt it in the moment. I was just like, yeah. And then I was kind of like, yeah, I did handle myself really well.
You totally did.
And that was the part I was most nervous about. We had talked about it because it was only my third time camping ever. It's the longest I've ever not showered.
Yeah, I feel that.
And at one point, Shad, a couple days in, was like, how do you keep looking so fresh? And I was like, what? And he's like, you just look like you just came out of the shower. And I was just like, baby wipes, bro.
You totally impressed him. No, that one, Shad is a hard one to impress. Oh. He's been burning longer than all of us.
Yeah. I was like, when he said it, I felt it in my
soul. Yeah, and plus he doesn't compliment people ever.
Yeah, I was really taken aback. And I kind of was happy that Clay was standing there. So I was like, I have a witness.
Yeah, my mouth is agape. I am like, wow.
Yeah, because it was a rough...
oh, God.
And I was reading over some of my notes that I made while we were there, because I'm a dork. And I wrote something about, I had done it well, and I was proud of myself, but not impressed with myself.
It was a tough burn.
It was, and I got a little, we got a little camp blocked. And then I got a little, camp glob. I went out a couple times and couldn't find things and was frustrated.
That was me
And
too.
then I super got into my head about not being welcome places. And we had talked about it. I had said, I had this fear going into it and I didn't realize it wasn't really a fear. It was my anxiety and my, anxiety gremlin that I just super got into my head about people not wanting me there and not really wanting to welcome me, but welcoming me because they had to. And it got, super... a couple of times when I went off and I went to walk into a camp by myself, I could feel the anxiety. Well, I couldn't name it at first because it felt different, but it was the anxiety I used to have about going into social events.
Yep.
And then I was just like, all right, I'm just going to I'll keep testing it, but I'm not going to push it. I'm exhausted. My body hurts. It's hot. I'm doing everything else well. I'm just going to hang out with my campmates. I'll find my other friends here and there when I can.
Yep.
And I'm just not going to force myself into situations. And I didn't, and I had a great time. And I wish I had done a little more. I wish I had been a little more adventurous on my own. But it was also the roads were terrible. And my bike wasn't great for it. There was all these things.
That's Burning Man.
Yeah.
There's the burn that you want, and then there's the burn that you get. Now do you understand?
Yeah. And
you see what I'm saying.
And I was like, all right, this was to make sure, because I was most worried about the survival of it and getting through all of that. And I was like, I'm doing a good job at that. So if that's all I do a good job at this burn, then I'm going to be proud of myself.
They're all different that way.
Yeah. And then I just
really
had a great time.
Different.
And I also was hard because you guys were all so much fun. Why wouldn't I want to be hanging out with you?
I get it.
Then I was just like, well, why? Every once in a while I'd go off and Tara was like, well, we're going to go here in a half hour. I'm like, I'll just wait for you guys. Because everyone from your camp was so much fun and so welcoming and kind. And just Tara and I laughed. When we even got stuck, Tara, Bree and I got stuck out on the Playa after the wedding.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Right.
This is something everybody should hear is when we were all at our friend's wedding. We've been celebrating their marriages all year. And it's actually been, for me, a really happy point to see two people who have been together for 12 years, have all these different wedding ceremonies. It's so nice, especially this year where it's so dark that, they've been having all of these celebrations of love. I think that that's really worthwhile and it's freeing. But This was like for us, like celebration number 3. We're here at Burning Man, and now we're having a Burning Man wedding. So not even 5 minutes after they had committed their vows, it starts to rain on open Playa, and we are way the fuck out at like 10 o'clock and whatever.
Oh, we were so far out.
We were fucked.
And I didn't have an e-bike. Almost everyone else there had an e-bike.
If it makes you feel better, my e-bike was on the fritz after I drained the battery. And I actually had to leave it on the Playa overnight, which really fucked me up. And I was really angry and upset about it. So that's what happened to me. Yeah. So you're going to tell your story in a second. When we left, I waited because Dario was trying to push the pedicab with the wedding couple on it.
Yeah.
And I waited for him. And then we got stuck by this art car. And I had to put my bike down. And it was already not working. And then we went on to this art car. And so when you're talking about how you're worried about not feeling welcomed. Well, here we are on this art car, and my feet had swelled out of my boots again. Oof. And I couldn't, so I had these shoes that I could wear that were okay, but I couldn't wear socks.
Okay.
So Dario's my partner. He goes over and asks, can we please get on? Because it's lightning, it's doing all this stuff. Right. And we're kind of like standing outside, and they're like, yeah, come on in. And they made me take my shoes off, which is a really vulnerable thing for me because I was completely barefoot and it's like pissing down rain outside. I have like nothing on.
Right.
And they wouldn't even let me hold my shoes in my hand. I mean, I wasn't going to put my shoes down and make a mess.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? But I wanted my shoes with me. I was really angry. And you could tell that these people didn't want me there.
And that's the part that sucks. And
it wasn't
that
fun
in the morning.
Yeah, I was just
or
like... Or
even when we met back up that night.
They didn't want us there. You could really tell that they were just having a party, and people were coming up to this car and they were just turning them away. Yeah. Right. And I could understand because it was moderately full and you can't accept everyone. But I was like, there's a storm going on outside. Let's do our best. Let's be better. And they were like, no, you can't be here. And I was like, okay. And the only reason why I was able to get home, honestly, was because I was freezing. I'm clinging on to Dario for dear life, waiting for this to like relent. And he asked somebody who was giving out garbage bags for a garbage bag for me. And so that was the best gift I received on Playa, was from this art car. Because all of a sudden the music stopped and they turned to us and said, so where's your camp? And we could tell they didn't want us there anymore. Right. And the person gave me this garbage bag. I gave him a piece of my swag. I was like, thank you. This is literally like the best gift I've ever received. Yeah. So I put this garbage bag on. My core was warm. And then we could tell we're not wanted here. And so we got out. And then I had to leave my bike, which really upset me. Yeah. You know, it's like, wow, I'm leaving this really expensive piece of equipment. It's out of my control. I'm angry about it. But I tried. I couldn't carry it. We just locked the bikes together and started walking back to camp. And I'm trying to deal with my emotions. And because I'm autistic, it takes me longer to sort through it. And a lot of times people don't understand. Like, why are you so mad? Why are you angry? Well, because I don't transition as well as you do. And it turned out that Dario left a cup that I carry with me everywhere at Burning Man. I've had it for almost 10 years. He left it inside the basket of his bike. Oh, no. And so that made me even more angry because now I don't have a cup. Right. And I take care of my cup, and I was expecting him to take care of my cup. You know what I mean? Right. Like, especially with autism, a lot of us are like, we get like that. We take care of our shit. And so I was just mad and angry walking back to camp. And I was thinking everybody else got out of here and everybody else is having a great time. And I have to sort through my feelings with this particular, experience. And it turns out that you had a hard time. Tara and Bree had a hard time. Shad and Meredith also had a hard time. So perspective's important. But right now I'm in my head thinking, oh, my friends are back home partying, blah, blah, blah. I'm really pissed off at everybody. I'm just going to go to my tent and just work it out in my head. Right. Because I'm not in control. Yeah. God.
Yeah, the champagne bottles started popping and then the rain started dropping and then everyone started scattering. Like, it was such a weird moment. Like, totally. Because everyone's just like, oh, get back to the city. Like, get back across the playa. And I didn't realize, like, once the rain started, the mud starts. So I'm like everyone take us off, and then I was following Tara in her pedicab because I was like, she's going, like she knows exactly where she's going. I'll follow her, but she went like a different way than she should have went. But Bree was following her too, so we went off in one direction, and you guys, we thought you all went off in another direction. So the three of us thought that you were with the wedding party, and you guys were all off having fun, drinking champagne without us.
See,
and then before we could make it into like we were probably made at mid Playa when I didn't. They were still far ahead of me because they both have e-bikes, and I'm just like pedaling, and then I couldn't pedal anymore, and I couldn't figure out why. And then I'm like, fuck. And then I look, and my tires are just caked with basically like a flour water mixture.
Oh God.
And I'm trying to drag it, and I'm like, fuck, like, and I don't have the strength to drive like, and now I'm like spewing and mad, and I'm cold, and it's raining, and I don't have a lot of clothes on either, and I can see them probably about. What I didn't think it was as far until we went back the morning and we figured it out. And I was like, oh shit, we were probably a good 150 yards apart.
Okay.
So then I start dragging my bike, and I know I'm not going to make it all the way to them, but there was a sculpture, like an art piece. So I dragged my bike to the art piece, locked it up, and then like went walking over to them, and they like were sitting in the pedicab, like huddled together, like, what the fuck do we do? And then they were like, where did you come from? They were like, what the hell?
That is amazing.
And I was like, I've been behind you. And they were like, looked, and you could see all like the drag marks from my bike in the Playa. And they were like, oh my God. And they were like, what did you do with your bike? I'm like, well, I didn't want to just leave it in the middle. So I dragged it over to that art piece. I'm like, because at least then now I know where it is.
Yeah, that's what we did too.
And I'm like, so I just locked it up. And they were like, you have a lock? And I was like, well, yeah. And they were like, okay. So then we like went and grabbed my bike and brought it. The three of us carried it over to them. So that's like another probably 150 yards away from each other. And we locked them all up. And then Bree was like, I think they're still back there. I think they got on the art car. And I'm like, you can't see their big pedicab. I think they made it. So then we're like, and Tara and I were both like, we're not going back. Like,
that was us in the art car.
And we're like, we're going back to the city. Like, we're going in.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to find some place to get warm and get out of the rain. And so Bree turned around and started going. And I was like, I don't want her to go by herself, but like, she's an adult. She wants, and she's a burner. Like, she knew what she was, you know.
Yep.
And so she started in, and Tara and I went and headed into the city, and like, it took us forever. And like, we're like mopping through the mud and just, but I kept laughing. I'm like, as long as we don't fall, we're fine. Like, as long as we don't fall. And I was just making jokes. And like, we went by like a couple camps, but they were all closed and almost no one was there. So the first camp that we saw that was like, looked like they were welcoming people. We were like, can we come in? And they were like, yeah, you just got to take your boots off and come on in. And like, so we went in and ended up partying, and it was like two of the best DJs, but we kept saying to each other, everyone else is together having fun. So like, we're going to have as much fun as we can here. Like,
after hearing the stories coming out of all of you, I was like, clearly we were doing it wrong. Because all of you talk about like the DJs that you found in the welcoming camp that took you in. And I'm like, we were in our car where people didn't want us. And it was like really dismaying. And it was really pissing me off because had the mood been different, I wouldn't have felt like that.
Yeah. No, like we ended up going in and like.
But it is what it is.
Yeah. Like we found, and then we were like, what's the name of this camp? And one of the guys is like, it doesn't have one. You find it when you need it. And like
that is burner magic. That is Playa magic right there.
And we never made it back there. Like we kept saying we were going to go back, but then we never did. And we were like, well,
dude, Tara talked about that for like the next 4 days.
She was like, and she
was all over that, like white on rice.
Big burner. And she was like, that was her magical night. Like she was like, that was the set she's been waiting for. Like she's been chasing a good set. And like, we danced for, I think, 3 hours.
Man.
Like, and we just had so much fun. Like, we were just like, fuck it. Like, we're here. It's pouring. We're watching the rain come down, and there's all the wires. The DJs are basically standing in a puddle with wires under their feet. And we're like, they might get electrocuted. Like, this could be their last set. Like,
this might be the end of it. This might be the end of the world as they know it, right?
And then finally we're like, all right, we got to head back. Like, all of our friends. And then even on our way back, we were like, our friends are having all the fun with all the champagne all together, and we're just missing out.
That's what
And then we got back, and everyone had beat us back, and they were all like, had the same kind of stories. Everyone got split up, and then we spent the rest of the night hanging out and just chatting and in the rain, like, avoiding the rain.
I think like Dario and I just went in our tent, and I just needed to like sit there. And so he and I just kind of like chatted.
Yeah.
Because it just takes me longer to adjust. But I think that the real eye opener, and I didn't realize that all of you were feeling like that until I said something. And then Shad had said, yeah, I had to leave my pedicab with all of my sound equipment.
Yeah.
And he's like, one of these things about Burning Man, when this happens, I have to realign my expectations really quickly. And that's what gave me the perspective of, oh, wait a second. Not everybody else was having fun. People were also struggling.
Yeah. And that was our first real night out because of the weather.
Indeed.
We had like, we hadn't really like ventured very far because it had been shitty weather up until then. And then we were like, all right, we're going to get this in.
I mean, for listeners, what was going on is all of the weather conditions that you've heard about for the last 4 years, it's like they coalesced all into 1 year. So it was like, oh, it's the beginning of the event. We're just going to have it piss down rain. And then we're going to have windstorms. And then it's going to be beautiful. It was like all of these rapidly changing weather conditions happening like within days and hours of each other.
Yeah.
And it's a lot, especially for veteran burners. If you have expectations, Burning Man's very humbling, and it tells you, hey, guess what? You think you're going to have a party for your camp? No, you're not. I mean, yeah. I took off like the whole week to be part of our camp parties. Guess how many parties we had? 0.
We had one.
I wasn't there.
You weren't there.
Yeah, I wasn't there. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that was really rough on Meredith because she's a great event organizer and she really wants to deliver, right?
She's amazing.
Right? Meredith's a great person and she's a great event person. And she marshals like all of these stray cats, which are all of us doing our thing. But, you know, she has expectations and I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to go ahead and do my volunteering. I will be back the whole week. What happens? All the magic happened during pre-event. Right. Yeah. Or on the days I wasn't there. And the days I was there, all of a sudden it was like, oh, look, we have a storm. Nobody's having a party. Everything is flattened out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I got there. I was supposed to get there earlier. What day did I come in? Sunday. Sunday, the gates open. Yeah. I was going to be there early Sunday afternoon. And I rented a car. Shh, don't tell anyone. And I got my first rental all packed up and something was wrong with it. So I had to like unload it, go get a new one, come back, reload it, and then drive up.
Oof.
So then I got up there, and I got up there just in time to hit the gravel before the dust storm. So when that first big dust storm, you guys had already had a windstorm.
We did.
I think. Yeah. And then on Sunday, there was another big dust storm, and then the rain started. So the dust storm too, like people talk about it, and they talk about like it's whiteout conditions, and you need to stop, and like. Mm-hmm. I have been in some terrible fucking blizzards, but this was like
it's not like that, is it?
It's like the mist. It's wild. Like I could not see the hood of my car.
Nope. That's why it's all shelter in place. That's why they make you just stand exactly where you are.
Yeah.
That's why the gate closes. If we can't see more than a quarter mile in front of us when we're opening gates for people, it is literally like we don't roll traffic. The cones go down. We make everybody wait.
Yeah, like I could
Nobody
not
gets
see
in and out of the city.
The car that I knew was next to me, like I couldn't, like I said, you couldn't see the hood of the car.
Nope.
I was like astonished at it. Like, and I knew it was a possibility, but even still, like then I was like, all right, well, this will be like 10 minutes. And it was like, a while. Yeah,
because wasn't your entry into Black Rock City, like it took you how many hours?
I was in my car for from the time I left till the time I got to camp, it was like 27 and a half hours.
Do you remember how many hours it took you at gate?
Like 20 something.
Oh, Jesus. So when you hit Gate Road, that's how long it took, was 20 hours?
Yeah.
Yikes on all the bikes.
I was like probably three quarters of a mile into the gravel from the gate when everything shut down.
Oh, God.
Because then the dust storm happened and then that subsided and we moved a little bit and then the rain started. And then it was torrential rainpour for the entire, and they were like, oh, we're shutting down the gate for the next at least 7 hours.
There's nothing you can do.
And I was just like, oh shit.
Your bike tires, when you were describing how it sticks like flour, that just happens to your car too. And then your car just goes down and down and down and down and down.
Yeah.
That's why we shelter in place.
Yeah. And I was just like, you know, and the Black Rock radio was great because I just kept checking in with it.
Good.
Because then was also in a spot that I had no service.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, now I'm in my car for 20 hours or at least for the next 7 hours. Like, you know, because I was like, but I was just like, all right, like I moved in the back of my car a little. I moved some stuff around so I could take the stuff that I had in my front seat out.
Yeah.
I was super grateful that I had gotten a bigger rent. Like when I went back to exchange it, they gave me a bigger car. And so I was able to have a full empty front seat so I could stretch out, because otherwise I would have just been in my driver's seat the whole time.
God.
And there was like guys next to me that were in a moving truck. There was 3 guys in a moving truck. And I wanted to be like, does someone want to come sit with me? Like, but I also was just like, not like, I was just like, it's pouring. And I
give you mad props, because coming to Burning Man by yourself, I also think is a really hard thing to do. And I have a hard time doing things by myself.
I can at times. Yeah.
You do a good job of it.
Thanks.
I watched you do it.
Yeah.
I watched you do it. No,
Yeah,
I remember saying to Dario, I was like, oh my God, Siobhan is just like navigating herself through all of this like a fucking pro.
Well,
I give you mad props for it. But then again, you've gone to Saudi Arabia by yourself. You have traveled the world by yourself.
Yeah.
But you have this resilience. And I literally watched all of that blossom where you just walk in and you're just like, hey, I'm here. And you are yourself. And you just naturally blossom into who you are around people. And I think that's an enviable quality. And you should absolutely celebrate that strength.
Thank you.
I know that it's hard to be alone doing certain things, and you shouldn't be alone all the time. But I'm just here to tell you that when you are doing things alone, you do a really fucking good job of it.
Thank you. Well, yeah.
You're a very capable traveler.
Thank you. Yeah. I try to, like, someone was like, oh my God.
And a capable burner.
Someone was like, I can't believe it. I'm like, well, I also I was going to make bracelets for like to give out as my camp thing, and I hadn't had time. So I was like, I made bracelets for like 6 hours and necklaces, and like, I like found things to do.
Yes. We all have your bracelets. They were very, very, very useful and beautiful.
Thank you. And then I was like, oh, like, then I got into being able to make them with like, I made them with a little intention, a little energy, and like, joy. And like, it just was a nice kind of break from regular life to before I got there.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I was just like, I'm leaning into this like alone time to like get ready for the burn. Like, I just kind of went open hearted and like, I'm going to get the burn that I need.
Yep.
And I'm going to just not try to judge it or like, and I was like, I'm just going to have a good time.
Yeah.
Like, I went to walk to the bathroom at one point and it's raining, and I was like, I couldn't tell which way to go.
Oh God, yeah.
Because I'm like, and it's hard to tell when there's nothing around. It's hard to tell the distance on things.
Yep.
So I'm like, all right, well, fuck it. Like, I'm going, let's just see what happens. And then I got back to my car. I'm like, now what do I do with these fucking boots? I'm like trying to get the mud off, and it's pouring rain, so I don't want to leave the car door open. And I was like, oh, I have a bucket and I have a bag. So I was just like, fuck it. There they are.
You know what the secret is to muddy Playa?
Please tell me.
So what you want to do is get some leg warmers. If it rains next year, for example, just put those over your shoes, because Playa doesn't stick to fabric.
Yeah. I noticed a lot of people
sticks to
that.
bags.
Yeah.
It sticks to all of that. However, it does not stick to cotton and to polyester blend. So if you put leg warmers, I say leg warmers because they're generous enough to fit over your boot.
Yeah.
Put that on. You could just put that tube on and like put the rubber band around the side and then walk in it. But, still don't walk around with bare feet, because you could pick up a piece of rebar, because lots of people have camped there. The city tends to move, right, a little bit every single time that they plan Black Rock City. And then, people are out there for Playa and whatever. So you don't know what's in the dust.
Right. You expect everyone has taken their stuff, but
they don't.
I know.
Sometimes there's like a piece of rebar, or there's a lag bolt in there. And when you just put your foot, you put your foot down, and all of a sudden you're going to pick it up in your foot. Never go barefoot, but absolutely put a leg warmer over it, and you're going to be set for life.
Yeah. So I will buy some leg warmers for next year.
Hopefully it doesn't rain. I feel like, Jesus, we've had like rain in some capacity for the past 3 years. And I'll tell you, when it rains, I'm awake. It gives me so much PTSD where I'm like, okay, what do I need to be aware about? I'm checking everything out. Do I need to leave? Where am I at? What is happening? Right.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. Because I don't want to be stuck in some camp or wherever. I want to be home with my people when that happens. And so when it first started raining, I got real lucky because I just got done volunteering. And I'm having a great time. I'm like having a shot of alcohol with my friends at Gate. And all of a sudden it starts raining. And I'm like, guys, I don't camp at the Black Hole. I have to leave right fucking now.
Yeah.
And they were like, yep, yes, you do. And so I literally just went to my bike and unlocked it. And I turned on the throttle and I went the, legal however many miles an hour it takes you on an e-bike in the city just to get to camp. And I blew my battery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I could see it starting to go down, but I was like, I would much rather have a problem than me being stuck somewhere or having to leave my bike on the road. And I did. I literally like rolled right into camp before it started to get really bad.
Yeah, it's smart to be there because, like you said, if you get caught where someone...
Once it rains, you got to go.
Right. Or, like, you have to figure out where to hunker down.
Yep.
And if you're not welcome, then that's a shitty thing. Like, yeah. And there was some weird vibes of, like, I noticed a couple days in, like, how many... And I'm going to struggle to say this, but I'm going to be honest about it. Like, there was a lot of foreign people there. So I heard a lot of other languages other than English, which, whatever, it's not what I
know what you're saying.
It wasn't that there was a lot of different cultures there. I love that. But there seemed to be an entitlement that came along with it.
I've had conversations with fellow burners about this. And so the thing I didn't tell you about the art car I was on was that it was facilitated by people who were not from the United States.
Yeah.
And I deliberately, omitted that information.
Because especially right now with everything going on in our country.
Yep.
But it was like they were there and looking down on us.
Yes,
and
that's exactly how it was for me
and then
Daria when we were on this car. And they were,
And it happened a couple different places. And I saw them being I saw people from different cultures and different places in the world being super rude to the people whose camps they were at.
Oh, see, that's not the ethos of Burning Man. And I feel like...
And even I checked someone. So I was in one of the saunas, and this woman was using like the rinse thing to take a shower.
Okay.
And I was like, finally said something. I was like, "Hey, it's not a shower." And she's like, "There's no place else to shower." And like, I was like, "Yeah, but that's
bring your own shower."
I was like, "Well, then do better. That's not what this is for." Because when you spray too much water inside of a sauna, one, it ruins the temperature for everyone else.
Yeah, that's right.
And then two, also, you're creating more wastewater that then the people from there have to take care of. So you're overusing a resource.
Yep.
And then also you're setting a bad example for anyone else that's coming in after you.
They think that you can do that.
Yeah, I think that you can do that. And the people outside were saying it, but they weren't saying it. They were only saying it every so often. So and if you don't know how the sauna works, how that culture works, how all of that works, then you just are uneducated. Like it's not like you're trying to be. But I was like, I'm like, yeah, but that's not what this room is for. That's not what that's for. And like, she got kind of mad at me. And then a couple other people were like, just calm down, just calm down. And I was like, no, like, that's not what this is for. It's not what these people brought it to here for.
Right.
Like, you're abusing the gift. And I was just so like taken aback. And then I walked out and then I was like, am I in the wrong? Like, and I was like, no, maybe like, I was trying to explain it to her. And then when she was like, there's no place else to shower, I think I was just like, but this is not a shower.
Yeah. If you want a shower, you need to bring your own.
Or go find a shower. I'm like, there are shower offers.
There totally are.
Like you can go to a lot of places and shower.
Yeah. I kind of feel like a lot of folks come here and then they hear a lot of stereotypes about us Americans and how we're fat and lazy and how we're just entitled. And then people feel like they need to keep up with us by acting similarly.
Yeah.
But it's a stereotype. But I'm like, no. And also, if you bothered to read the 10 principles and applied them to your life, or if you went to a regional or two and you understood the culture, you would understand that people are bringing water to give to you. They're not bringing it so you can abuse it.
Right.
Right. Also, I mean, in that moment, if this had happened to me, I probably would have gone out and said something to the camp and been like, hey, just so you know, you guys may want to think about like coming into the sauna or just checking on how people are using the resources, because we're just seeing that maybe people might not understand how they're using water and it could be wasteful.
Yeah. I walked
out. It's about educating
just...
people. But unfortunately, it sounds like you were trying to do that, but it was not being received correctly.
Yeah. And I don't know if it was my delivery. I could have been a little harsher in my delivery than I meant to. Like, you know what I mean? And I walked out and was just like, shit, am I the problem? Like, and then I was talking to someone else and they were like, no, like, you did the right thing. Like you should have, because you're standing up for it.
I would have said the same thing. I would have said the same thing.
And I was like, I would have like explained it more, but she was so like taken aback. And I was just like, yeah, it's just not, I was like, hey, this is not a shower. Like I didn't like, and then because I was also sweating and I was like, can I just spray myself? And she's like, yeah, I'm not done yet. And she just continued to shower.
Wow.
And that's when I was like, this is not a shower. Like, stop. And she was like, there is no place else to shower. I'm like, okay, yeah, but this is not it. That's not what this room is created for.
We're seeing like so much more of that. And people are also, a lot of people come here thinking that this is some huge rave, like whatever they're used to in Europe, or they think this is some big, huge party. And I think that the whole message and the ethos of Burning Man is being lost. It is about radical self-reliance. It is about being generous, and it is about being moderate about resources and being polite and nice to each other.
Right.
And I feel like this year I was seeing more of people just being rude. I mean, we had a man be murdered.
Right.
Somebody was stabbed out there. And, you know, the irony is that a person from my work was literally camped across the street from that guy who got killed. So when that happened, I was like, okay, I posted on Facebook. I was like, go check your friends. Yeah. I hadn't heard from my buddy Sam. And I was like, what if it's him?
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, this is at 8:30 and my buddy is literally right there. Yeah. Is it Sam?
It's the first time someone's been murdered at the burn.
Horrible. Correct? Horrible. Yes. 100%. Yeah. No, that is literally like the first time I've ever heard of it. No, this doesn't happen here.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm sorry if I'm not delivering this correctly, because like it was very shocking. It's horrible. And I kind of, by the way, this is unsubstantiated and it's only the ruminations in my own mind. I have my personal feeling, please don't take this as fact because I am not a scientist and I'm not the police, and nor am I a forensic scientist. I have a feeling that guy walked in on people stealing on burn night and they killed him. This is a conspiracy theory. Okay.
Oh, I've heard.
This is a conspiracy theory. Do not hold. Like I said, not a police officer or a forensic scientist, but it happened on burn night. And burn night, unfortunately, over the past few years, especially post-pandemic, has turned into people stealing from camps. And I wonder if that man had like stayed back in camp for whatever reason and he caught people stealing and somebody killed him for it. That is what I think. Like I said, don't take this as fact. I am ruminating.
Armchair officer.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I thought it maybe was like someone. Because it made me kind of super uncomfortable. I just hadn't looked into it a lot. Like I saw it come up and I saw people talking about it and I was just like, I'm going to look at the baby article. I can't believe a baby was born. And there was an OB right next door at camp.
Ironically, my friend John was camped at that camp across the street. This is how Playa works. I don't. It's weird because you just, all of a sudden my friend John was like, that was our camp.
Oh, wow.
And we heard all of a sudden, is there a doctor here? And it turned out they had an OBGYN. Right. They had a NICU nurse. They had a whole bunch of medical professionals and they were able to rush in there and deliver this baby. And I was like, that is fucking cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I was like, when both stories came up, I was like, I want to be over here looking at the baby.
Yeah.
I'm not going near the murder.
That was really unfortunate.
Yeah, it's so like, and our condolences to his family and friends.
100%. I hope that Pershing County Sheriff's Department is able to do the proper investigation needed to bring the perpetrator to justice, because that shit's not cool.
Can I tell you though, in my 27 hours in my car, I was thinking about, and I have a voice note where I go, write a story, because I write a lot.
Yeah.
And I was like, write a story about a woman who gets murdered at Burning Man. And they can't, and like, how do they figure out who it is? Because there's 80,000 people, and no one, like, I totally, like, oh my God, was totally like, and I sent myself a voice note on it.
Life imitates art. Life imitates art. You heard it from me.
Like my best friend growing up, her dad was a homicide detective. So I don't ever go into a situation without thinking about how would I be murdered? But also, how would they solve my murder? Like
I'm a true crime person. And I also wanted to do forensic science when I was in college. But unfortunately, I graduated a semester too early to join that program. But
oh my God, I was too smart to join that program. I graduated early, so I couldn't participate in that one.
I remember being like, they're doing forensic science at my tiny Minnesota college. I should just fucking join in and take the class. I probably should have taken the class.
You should have. I would see you you're like
I wanted to do that.
More punk rock, less goth version of Abby from
right? Right? But it was so weird because then everybody left before Temple Burn.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that.
Did you go to Temple?
I did not. I did not. And I didn't expect not to.
Sometimes you don't go. I have years where I don't go either.
When I got there and I saw the rock,
Uh-huh.
I thought, my first thought was, are you fucking kidding me? It's a Star Wars art piece. It's like one of the first big pieces I see. And I was like, it's a Sith rock. Like, it's not even the good guys.
Yeah.
You know, that was my first.
I didn't realize it was the temple either. I was like, where's the temple? What's going on? Oh.
Yeah.
Really? It was underwhelming.
Yeah. And then also it had like a whole other layer of meaning for me because of Wilk and his love of Star Wars. And I was going to bring some stuff.
I saw his brother this morning.
Yeah. And I was going to bring, you know, some of the things from him to leave at the temple, like one of his funeral cards. And then I didn't, because then I felt weird about it. And then I was like, I don't know if I'm actually ready to completely let that go, you know? And I was just had all kinds of feels about it. And then when I got there and it was a fucking giant Sith rock, I was like, go fuck yourself, guy. Like, I was like, are you fucking kidding? And then we kind of got near it a few times when we were out, but I never went. And then twice I went to go leave for it. And then someone was like, hey, we're doing this. And I was like, great, squirrel. Like, yeah. And then so at the temple, when you guys were staying at Temple Burn, a lot of us had started to pack up. Mm-hmm. And I was packing and I was like, if I stop packing, I'm not going to want to restart it. And then I was like, maybe I'll just sleep in my car and maybe this and maybe that. And then I was just like going back and forth and I was just like, my body is tired. I'm like, and I was just like, I think I'm going to leave. Yeah. And I was like, I never made it to Temple. So to be here for the Temple Burn just doesn't, I was like, I think I need a shower and a real bed. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I ended up sleeping in my car anyways. So I should have maybe just stayed because
and maybe you shouldn't have. It sounds like to me like you did exactly what you needed to do. That's the thing about the burn, though. You get drawn to things or you don't. Mm. It's that simple. Yeah. And it's about like trusting your inner voice or whatever is going on for you is just like lean into it. Yep. Don't regret anything. Just be like, well, you know what? I wasn't drawn to the temple, even though there were like coincidences, which probably would have made that kismet,
or it just would have made
it no. I think it's a no.
Yeah, I think it would have made me feel like I was forcing it. Yeah, in a different way. Where, like I had said, I was like, when I had made the decision, like as long as I survive on my own, like then I have been successful at it.
Indeed, and the thing too about the temple. If you're like, oh yeah, he would have loved it had I dropped all this stuff off and it would have burned here. It's not about him. It's about you.
Right. And I think that was
it is about your grief process. It's not about the dead because the dead are dead. They don't fucking care. It is about you and how you want to handle and disposition how you feel through leaving an artifact in the temple. If the temple didn't draw you, guess what? The temple wasn't for him and it wasn't for you either.
But if you also look at it the perspective, I had decided that as long as I survived Burning Man, I did it well. So it was almost like him being like, hey, I'm here, but you don't need a temple yet.
Maybe so.
Yeah, like, because I hadn't brought any stuff with me. Like, so there's so many different ways you can look at it and change like, how it, but I just, I didn't feel, and I also had big expectations for the temple. I'm a super spiritual person, but not religious.
Yeah, me too.
And I was super excited because I heard about the temple and how it all works. And then when people kept coming back and they were so disappointed in it, and not that it affected me. Not that it affected. I mean, obviously it does affect you, but like when they kept coming back and it wasn't meeting their expectations. Mm-hmm. It kind of gave me a little bit of relief. Like, it's not just me. Like it's also not what they expected.
If it doesn't call to you, then it doesn't call to you. And like I said, I've had times when I haven't gone to the temple. I don't have anything to burn. But a really good temple story that I'll share with you is I do love Temple Burn. And so like my friends, they always leave before the Temple Burn. Right. Last year they didn't, which was really surprising.
Well, it was the Goldilocks weather year.
It was the Goldilocks weather year. But at the same time, Meredith was going through having the loss of her dog. Yes. Right. And she had to leave early. She had flown in, that type of thing. So it was like me, Shad, and Shad only stayed because he had like a friend of his who wanted to see the temple burn, who was a first-time burner, which was good for me because I was still burning solo independently. And so I remember like walking into the temple and I manifested. I was like, you know what? I have been single for a really long time and I would like to be partnered. And I wrote that on the temple wall and I was like, I would really like to manifest. So I asked the temple for something. Right. I would probably say like within, like I met my partner in December.
Yeah.
And so
just months later.
Yeah. Just months later, all of a sudden,
So
my partner enters my life. And so this year, like the only thing that I did in the temple this year, because I made it a point to go in,
right,
was to thank the temple. All I said was thank you for Dario. Literally, I just wrote that on the wall. And then I went around the corner, and then I saw the memorial that was left for my friend at Gate who passed away. So Al Brocrow, bless you, sir. Somebody, our department made a memorial for him. So I literally like wrote my thank you, went around the corner, and there was Al's picture.
Yeah,
and
your friend giving you a little nod saying
totally,
good job.
Because it's so difficult. Gates lost a lot of people over the last few years. And so I just sat next to him for a while, and I just, wrote something, on the temple wall that just let him know that we love him and that he's remembered. And walked around the corner, and then there was Meredith did lose her dog. And so, I missed the point where everybody had written things on Rufus's card, or like the big placard. She made a beautiful memorial for him. And so, I didn't get to see it. All of a sudden I walk around, there's Rufus. And I was like, oh, hey, dude, how you doing? And I got to write something for Rufus because that dog was amazing. Right. And then I just walked around. I've had some pretty magical temple moments. And even though the temple looked really underwhelming, the inside, the infrastructure was built really well. And it was beautiful to see like the people there collectively grieving. Oh, I'm trying not to have tears about this because the temple is so sacred to me. But the infrastructure was built really well. I really liked the inside of it. And so what I'm used to seeing in the temple was manifested when I walked through it. And I saw people coming together in the way that they should. We have the temple guardians. We have all the people there holding space for you. And, we have folks like having meditation and drum circles. And, it's a lot. Yeah. And when you come back again, when you go in, you're going to notice that even if you don't leave anything in there, it's a very heavy experience. You're probably going to cry about it because there's so much pain. People lose. But then again, people they gain and they write happy things just like I did. I just wrote, thank you. Yeah. I went ahead and did my rituals. My people came to me. I went to all the right spaces, and that was it.
And that's beautiful. And I'm happy that you have
and then I walked
and
away.
I'm excited to have that at some point, but I don't. Yeah. I think that this year was not that for me.
No.
And that's okay too. Yeah.
That is very, very, very real.
I tried. It almost got me caught up a little bit a couple of times where everyone from our camp was going out and I had just missed it. And I wasn't sure how I missed it, but I ended up missing it. And then I was like, oh yeah, it's fine. Just let it just, everything did happen the way it should.
I mean, I had one year, this was 2020? No, it was 2022. I didn't have anything to leave in the temple, but I was the messenger for people who needed me to leave things for them. And somebody took a photo of me when I was walking back. No, I'm sorry. It wasn't when I was walking back, but I was walking there. And I literally have the objects that I'm supposed to deliver. And so they were saying, are you going to the temple? And I said, I am. And then they were like, are you comfortable sharing with us? And I said, I'm just the messenger this year. I don't have anything to leave, but I have some friends who wanted me to deposit some things in the temple for them. And I did. So you just have these different experiences. And there's times when, like I told you before, I don't need to leave anything. I don't need to go there. Yeah. So every year it's here's the thing, this burn was like this for you, but when you come back, it's going to be completely different. I can guarantee it.
I'm sure. Hopefully just the weather is better. But
man, but also who knows? We've had 3 years of rain straight, at some capacity.
The art was the most amazing.
What was your favorite?
The mycelium woman.
Oh, I liked her too.
Because she up close looked, she looked flawless. It almost looked like she was carved out of marble. She was just this white, pure. And I'll share when we put this out. I'll put some pictures of it. That was probably my favorite because it was so smooth, and then the projections were beautiful and stunning. And then it looked like she was winking and looking at you, and I could have sat there for the entire night watching that piece.
Yeah.
It just
at night, all of a sudden they have like all the lasers coming off of it and the colors like take off.
Yeah. The troll was also amazing.
I like the troll.
And then there was like one of the sound camps that was the square. I don't remember the name of it. It was the square with all the lights. And like inside was like the circle where you could lay on it and you were like in a cube of lights.
Yes. I thought that was pretty cool too.
Was amazing. I mean, there was so much that was amazing. There was like an elephant octopus that was awesome. I mean, there was so much. Like I just kept saying, "This is awesome!" Like,
it's overwhelming, right? To see all this big art and you get to go up and touch it.
Yeah, and what also happened was because of the weather and the roads were terrible. Like, it was hard for me to ride the bike and also I have a neck injury, so like the uneven was fucking with me a little bit. So, but luckily,
it was so hard.
Shad had brought an extra pedicab, and it's easier for someone to pedal the pedicab when someone's in it.
Yeah.
So really, I got to be a princess the whole week because Tara was like, Tara, we hit it off immediately, which was great.
Tara liked you a lot.
And then she like was pedal cabbing, and so she was just like, yeah, get in. So the two, and then we got to like hang out and experience it kind of together. Yeah. And I was a newbie and she's a veteran, but I like legit kept being like, this is just amazing. Like, and at one point I was like, you guys, I wish I had better words for you, but I just like the awe of it all. Like when we got up to this, we went up scaffolding at one point, and you could see the whole Playa, like 360 degrees. And there was just like lights everywhere moving and shaking. And like, it goes from nothing to Las Vegas on steroids. Like, and at night, like I am definitely a nighttime Playa person. Like I want to be out there and seeing all the lights and going, and like, I can't wait to go. Like even before we left, I was like, I can't wait to come back. And Shad was like, you can't say that yet.
That's amazing. Yeah. Like when I volunteer for Gate. And so we always have like the Gate parade. And so we get in our janky art cars and then we go off on Playa and we honk at people and we just do some friendly hassling. So we do that because a lot of times people don't get to get out of their, volunteering or their contracting gigs. And so it's important for people to be able to like get out and have some Burning Man. Yeah. And so that was pretty enjoyable for me. And the funny thing is like sometimes there's a theme with your burn. And I don't know if maybe that didn't happen with you this year. It happened with me. And so my burn was about relationships. All of it was about relationships. And so, firstly, I'm there with my partner who is an experienced burner, but he hasn't burned since, he went during the early years of Burning Man.
Okay. So it's very different.
Yeah, it was. So he hasn't burned since 2011. Like it's very different. Like we have vehicle passes now, that type of thing.
Right.
So, sharing that with him was really important. And so we got in our very first fight out there. Oh my God. No, this is funny. Can I tell you about it?
Please.
Oh, Jesus, this is hilarious.
We might have to edit some of this out.
No, this is the same story that I'm telling everybody, and Dario knows about it. So what ended up happening is I was dilly-dallying. So when I was talking about how we were coming back from like having this art car experience that was just really miserable, and I'm just kind of like pissed off and just angry. Well, we went out and picked up their bikes the next day, and I was hungry, and then we were concerned we didn't bring enough food. I never told anybody this. We're experienced burners, but we're experienced burners by ourselves, right? So I was like, oh, we bought our food. I was like, I think we don't have enough food. It turned out that we ended up going through our food right as we were leaving, but I was concerned about it.
I had so much food and I did not eat most of it.
Well, we're not used, neither one of us are used to being in a couple. We're used to being by ourselves. And so we get our bikes and come back, and Dario was like, to his credit, he was trying to get me fed. We were walking to a camp that was doing breakfast. In true Burning Man fashion, I ran into some people. Oh. And I had a moment with them because, being present is part of being here. And in doing so, I ended our chances of getting free food. They literally shut the line off right ahead of us. And so I could tell that Dario was pissed off at me about it, but he was being really kind. And at the same time, you have to understand, we're all dehydrated. Right. It's sunny. Nobody's bike is working. Everything is fucked. He has been thwarted from going off and enjoying things. And so he was upset, but he was being really good about it. I was like, look, I said, I was trying to have a Burning Man moment with these folks. And he's like, I know, but I'm trying to feed you.
Right.
And he was trying to get me to come over, but I was having a Burning Man moment because Burning Man is about being spontaneous. And okay, we moved on from that. But then there was like this bike race that was happening at the other side of the playa, like at 2:00 and whatever. And the rain was going to come in. And he really, really wanted to go. And I was like, I wouldn't go to that. I said, it's going to get rained out. And so we ended up following everybody who were doing, like, I don't know if people were doing shots or whatever, but neither one of us were into it. And Dario's like, he just turned on his heel and he just took off. He's like, I just wanted to go do this thing. I just want to do this one thing because everything is getting all fucked up. And so I followed him because being the people pleaser I am, I'm making sure, are you mad at me? What is going on? I don't want my boyfriend to leave me out here. And he probably just needed his space. I'm also really hungry. Really hungry.
So you're back to the hangry.
Oh, here we go.
Which is really the state he met you in.
Oh, it was the state he met me in, yes.
So it should be.
And so I'm following him, but he is walking so fast. And I'm trying to keep up on these uneven roads and my back hurts. And I'm just having all these problems. And he's like, I'm like, Dario, just wait. And he's just not. He's not listening to me. And I could just see his face just turned inward. Like if you were a petulant child, if you're 10 years old, you're fucking done.
Yeah.
And he just keeps walking. I walk with him. He's like, walk with me if you can catch up. And so I'm trying my best. We walk back to camp. We walk around the block and I could just feel it. I could feel my energy level going to E. I could see the gas tank going to nothing because I hadn't eaten anything. I was really hungry. And I went over to the camp across the street that was supposed to be serving Italian food, and they wanted me to engage, which is fair. That's what Burning Man's about. But I just wanted food. I didn't want any wine. They carded me, and then they gave me this like warm rosé, and all I wanted was noodles.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm done. I don't want this. I just was like, thank you. And I left, walked back to camp, and I said, look, if you need to go someplace, go. I'm starving. I'm out of calories. And all he said to me was, now you know how it feels. And I fucking lost my shit. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself. All the things that you would say to your person that you don't want to say, but you're fucking done.
Yep.
And it actually was pretty funny. And he takes this hoopty bike, that little yellow bike, and he just wants to go to his bike thing. And the fucking chain is falling off. And I'm like, go fuck yourself. I'm eating all the croissants. You don't get any. I'm taking all the food. I'm going in the tent right now and I'm just going to eat everything. And he's just like trying to leave. And the chain falls off 4 times.
Oh my God.
So finally he leaves. And I just sit here with all the food and I just start eating it because I am hungry and unreasonable. So we kind of joke about like, now you know how it feels. Well, go fuck yourself. And he comes back because he had something in mind. I forgot. And I was like, you're still, fuck you. I'm still eating the croissants and you don't get any. And so he went over to this bike race. And guess what? It got canceled because it started fucking raining.
Yeah, I remember when he came back and I was like, how was it? And he was like, and I was like, and yeah, he was just having a rough time. And I was just like,
you just wanted to go off and do things. And the brain was.
You want a cookie? Like,
yeah, the brain was preventing him from doing things. And so.
Yeah, it was preventing it was that part was hard. Like not feeling like you could go off.
Well, then I felt like my friends didn't want me there either. And so I just wanted to go hang out. But then it ruined my time because I couldn't hang out. And then I got stuck with these people who were just like, not in our camp. And I was having a miserable night. And all of a sudden everything just shifted. And when later on, I realized what I should have done is just insisted that I go along instead of expecting to be invited. So I kind of learned something like that too. And of course, Daria and I talked about it and we kind of laughed because it was stupid, but well, it happened on Wednesday too. Wednesday event week. That's exactly when you start to break down and when you start to have a relationship problem. Yeah. And then after that, I ended up being in the block. I was actually at a bar on Playa, and I see this flyer for this girl I had dated before I met Dario. Right. Yes. And I was talking about her because she fucking owes me like $2,000 and she just like skipped out. Long story. And that was like 3 years ago. Bitch. She ain't going to pay me back.
I know she won't.
I'm talking about her. Dario all of a sudden looks over. She's walking into where we are. Thank you, Playa. Thank you, Playa. Of course you're going to do that. So all of a sudden, I'm talking to him. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm glad that she's performing here. Well, she owes me $2,000. And all of a sudden, here she is. And I was like, hey, how you doing? And I don't let people get the best of me. She looks at me and she's like, we good? You good? I'm like, yeah, we're good. And we had a really civil, polite conversation. I introduced the two of them. You know, I said nothing about how you owe me because this is not the place for that.
Right.
And I'm never going to see that again. And we both know it.
Yep.
And, you know, it was nice to have that conversation. And then, you know, we took off. We were going to go do something that Daria wanted to do. And I ran into my ex-wife. I haven't seen her in 6 years. And so that was more contentious because I did not have a great divorce. And there was a lot of really bad emotions. And there probably still is. All of a sudden I'm sitting there and I'm like, at another bar. I'm like, I know those curls. Literally my ex-wife, because I married a woman so she wouldn't die of cancer. She's still alive, but she's smoking like a chimney, sitting in the corner. And I was like, hey, Foxy, how you doing? And she's just like, oh. Like, she knew it was me. Yep. I was very polite. So for me, Burning Man was about like making amends with people. You know, getting closure, having this closure thing. And even when I left, I just had one drink and I was just like, good to see you, Fox. I said, it's nice to see you doing well. And she just kind of grunted in my direction, but it didn't matter.
No.
What mattered was me.
Yes.
And then Dario and I went and did our thing. You know, and the same thing was with another person who used to be a friend of mine. You know, I was probably more civil to her. And I tend to see this other ex-friend. So it was all about relationships for me. And I was like, well, all of this is happening in one day. Literally. No, Dario was there throughout all of it. It happened the same exact day. That is what Burning Man is.
Yeah. I was surprised I saw as many people as I knew. Like, I ran into a guy I know from the Banya in line at the bathroom.
Yeah.
I ran into my friend Mike, who actually works for the Burn, like randomly on a street one night. Like, I was walking by and I heard his voice, and he's got a very distinct voice.
Is that Max Drain?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I was like, I stopped in my tracks, and I was like, hold on. And I like ran back, and I was like, excuse me, sir. And he was like, oh my God.
Oh,
like,
I wish I'd have seen. I didn't see Mike when I was out there. That's
I saw
a bummer.
him very briefly.
Oh.
Like, ran into other friends and like got to hang out with them. And so it was fun to like just see who you saw.
Yeah.
And then I probably would have ran into more if I was even more adventurous.
Trust me, there are years where all of a sudden you get there and you're like going off all over Playa. Are you going to come back next year?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, I had decided that before we even left. Like, I know what I'll do a little different. I know, like, I brought way too much water, which I also, like, went over-prepared. Because I was like, I would rather have stuff and not need it than need it and not have it. Like, I will do the same next year. I would go over-prepared again.
That's really smart. Yeah, I have to go get my van looked at because I had ended up having engine troubles on the way out, which was really frightening. Like, all of a sudden, the car was starting to overheat. And Dario was, like, noticing the needle. I kind of wish he wouldn't have told me because then I started getting nervous. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, because we got stuck. Our exodus was like almost 4 hours, which is pretty significant for me. I think that's the longest I've waited. And I was like, oh, I don't want to get stuck here. And he's like, do you want to just stay in Girl Lake? And I said, fuck no, we're going to Reno. And I just like pushed it. I'm hoping that we're just able to like blow out the air filter and stuff. Right. Dario had already looked at it and he was like, these fasteners look so old that I don't know if they're going to break or not. So I'm just going to leave them alone. So we were able to, you know, the van did admirably because we were towing the Ratchet Lounge.
That's right.
Right.
And my bike.
Yep. And so we ended up getting back and we did all right. But the car, like the van just still kept overheating. Of course, I have to go smog it. And it's probably not going to pass smog until I fix what's going on.
Right.
But it was just a real harrowing experience to be like, oh, I don't want to have a breakdown in the middle of nowhere. It's one of my worst fears. And so I had to like really cope with that and just, we pulled up, shut the car off, leave it, turn the car back on. And then we just tried to like get to where we were going. Yeah. And there was a couple times when the check engine light started to flash, which means that there's a misfire on the engine. So that happened like maybe 3 times. So there's definitely, it might be the death knell of my van, which is kind of shitty because it has high miles on it when I bought it. But I bought it for myself because it's being alone. It's hard for me to pitch a tent by myself with my back problems and being disabled. So the van is literally so I have a more comfortable experience. Yeah. Dario's not going to come back next year. He was like, you know what? Firstly, he doesn't have the vacation time. Secondly, he was like, I don't know if I want to do this again. Yeah. I think I'm done. So this means that I'm going to come back, but I'll be by myself. So I definitely can't sleep in a tent. I can't put it up alone. Right.
Well, I'll help you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I worry is like, I'm not Like the tent I have, which is the tent you saw, I can't put that up alone.
Right.
I can take it down by myself.
Yep.
But I absolutely need another pair of hands to help me.
Yeah.
And I get worried because there's certain things I can do alone, but I can't erect my tent alone.
Right. Yeah. No, it's hard. Yeah.
That is the thing.
Yeah, no, I really, I enjoyed it all. One of the other things that I really enjoyed was the people that brought their kids.
Yeah.
And especially...
Oh, you're talking about our neighbors?
Well, him specifically. Just
Maya?
Because, yeah.
Oh, God. Jeremiah he's so cool.
I had such interesting conversations with him, and I was like, hey, and
Very smart man.
Oh, but then just... his kids and how open and loving they are and kind and he was, and then just getting to see kids watch adults play.
Yeah.
Because
it's good for them.
And I was like, where else do they see adults playing anymore?
That's a great question. And I mean, Amaya and his wife, they own a ranch up in Washington, I think. They don't eat processed food. Everything's organic.
Oh, yeah. They were some of the most interesting people. And I was like, yo, will you come be on my podcast? And he was like, I don't do digital media. And I was like, dude, I'll hide your voice and I won't say any specifics. And I was like, you could be Batman.
Dang it. Did you convince him?
And he was like, you know what? I will think about it. And then for the rest of the week, we kept talking to each other and I'd be like, all right, Batman.
That's funny. Did he give you his contact info? I do
No,
have
but
it.
he told me that I could find it if I wanted to.
Okay.
And he knew
I have
because
it.
I was like, I'm sure Brenda has it. And he was like,
he said that.
No,
huh?
I did.
Okay.
I was like, I'm going to contact you in a couple months. And he was like, all right. And I was like, he's like, okay. And I was like, I'm sure Brenda has your information. And he smiled and winked at me and was like, I'm sure she does.
Yeah. No, those people are so great.
Yeah.
I love camp. This is the second year we've been camped next to the pollination station. And so we're talking about Jeremiah and his family. Jeremiah is a dude who's in the Marine Corps. I believe his wife.
We're not giving. I'm going to cut all of that out. He was from the pollinator camp, but he is one of the most interesting guys I know. But he also was saying he does not do social media. He does not do digital because of what he used to do for a living.
Yeah.
And
so dude was in the military. But the thing is this is a guy who tells the funniest stories. He's very engaging. But here's the thing. He loves kids. All the pollination station is about bees and how bees procreate and about how bees pollinate. It's full of peace and love. Yeah. It's so cool. And this is the second year we've been camped next to them. And so I'm really hoping that they come back because it was a rough year for them too.
Oh, yeah.
And even Jeremiah was like, maybe we should all just camp together. I'm like, I would hella camp with you guys.
Yeah.
Are you serious? I would
camp with them all day, every day. And he's so funny and interesting and
he's also very protective. That guy will walk around.
Mm-hmm.
No, that he is he's got that military sense where he walks around and he'll be like, hey, this is what's going on, yada, 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 yada. We've gotten really lucky to camp next to the people that we have.
Yeah, it was such an amazing experience. And I thank you. I can't really thank you enough for inviting me to come camp with you guys and just making it so much fun.
I'm just happy you're going to come camp with us next year because you're a great addition. You meshed well with everybody. Everybody loved you. You fit in so well.
Thank you. It was just so much fun. And I can't wait to go again next. I want to go to regionals until we go next year. I'm
sure
so
we're probably going to do unscrews. I'm not going to go to Love Burn, which is in Florida, because I know that Shad and Meredith are going to be Shad's going to be working the Super Bowl. So they're probably going to be doing that. And Love Burn's kind of changed a bunch, but we have unscrews, but there's regionals all over the country.
Yeah. It's definitely a world I want to get to know more and discover more.
And the burns aren't as hard.
Yeah. And just the amount I learned about myself, the things that came up, the things that I was like, okay, here's where I'm strong. Here's where I still need to work on things. And then just the art, it's one of the last places I can think that art is created for the sake of art.
Sorry, we're not talking enough about the art.
No,
I think what happened is we didn't go out to see enough art, which is why you're not hearing me talk about it as much either.
Well, also we just wanted to because we were sharing all of my anxieties on it on the first episode and stuff. I think that this is more of what was art, what was it really like? Because it is hard to explain to someone. You had said that before, you'll
now
come back
you
and
understand. People are gonna say, "How was your burn?" You're like, "Fine."
Yeah.
Because if you weren't there,
it's hard to put it all into words. And
so, listeners, this is about if you've never been to Burning Man, this is probably going to be the closest you're going to get because you have to be there.
You do.
You have to see it to understand it, and that's why when you ask people, "Hey, how was Burning Man?" and you're expecting a full story, people aren't going to say anything because there's so much that happens in this finite period of time, and it's one of a kind of thing, which is why people don't bring you back little mementos. I remember being told, no, we don't bring mementos back. those people need to be there and be given that gift directly.
Yeah.
Because it's the gift of experience in a tangible object.
Yeah.
It's that kind of place. And so if you have never been to Burning Man, I do suggest like look up the 10 principles because they're worth living for. And they propagate like sharing and decommodification and being present. And like Burning Man's helped me grow as a human being where I can do things alone better than I ever have. And it took this event and 7 years of going to it for me to be a better person. If you let yourself experience new things and be open to growth, you're going to have it. And Burning Man forces you into growing.
Yeah. Well, because it's you have so many different adversities coming at you from every direction.
Yeah, you fucking do.
Right? So it's like you're being challenged in ways that you normally don't get challenged in life.
Right.
And every day, every moment, every of it, there's always a challenge, and it's about how you're going to deal with it and how you're going to get through it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Mm. And at the same time, you're like building camaraderie, you're building friendships, you're being able to be involved in art, or you're seeing art. You have this immediacy where all of a sudden, here you are, you're thrust into this situation, and all of a sudden you get to know your neighbors. And then you start realizing that, hey, all of that shit that we talk about, like, oh, people suck, other people suck, that rugged individualism that America has, I think that Burning Man is meant for us to help undo that.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's what kind of makes me sad about some of the people coming in. But at the same time, when we start seeing that kind of individualism that is, being seen in perhaps our European counterparts who think that this is how American events are, it's up to us to teach them how to be.
Yeah.
It really is. It's about community and being like, hey, you know what? I understand that you might be a little territorial, you're being like this, but I'm still going to be your friend and I'm still going to do the right thing. And I'm still going to be like, showing you what community means. I think it's about teaching the people who are entering the Burning Man community about what the ethos means and being kind anyway.
Yeah. And leading by example.
Yeah, we totally do. And we're going to start seeing that happen in the United States because right now everybody's being splintered and fractured into all these individual groups and we're all taught to hate each other. Shit. What would happen if we didn't? What would happen if we still facilitated community? And I remember I went to a regional and this was at Saguaro Man in Arizona. And this was a long time ago. And we had people from the org come talk and they said that they do the whole ticket lottery by design. They want new people to come. They set it up to where they want new people to be involved. And the speaker actually said, if you have been burning for 20 years and you've done nothing but Burning Man, you're doing it wrong. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to quit Burning Man and bring all the things that you learned back to your fucking community. Right. You were supposed to bring all that back and teach other people how to be like that and build community. I like that in the regional community. I'm a huge fan of it. And I've seen a lot of regionals in North America. And I believe that that's the thing. Come have your experience at Burning Man and then come back and build community within your particular region because that is the way. That is how we have the ethos of Burning Man grow. And I just recall that they do want new people. And this is why they just have this system because they want to have the outreach and bringing in young people or people from all over the world who might not think like this. And sometimes it takes a lot of time for people to understand what Burning Man is all about. And that's resonated with me. And I talk about that conversation a lot with other people when it comes to the Burning Man culture. Because folks are like, oh, well, it wasn't like it was in 2008. Well, fuck, it's not.
Nothing's like it was in 2008.
You know what? It doesn't matter. What matters is you get to learn about community, about not having to pay for things, about being a good person. And you have that opportunity in, the city of 80,000 people or whatever it's supposed to be. Right. You get to go off and do that and be a part of it, So why not bring that back? Bring back what you've learned and start to build community back home. And I think that's one of the reasons why I keep going back to Burning Man.
And that's the reason I'll go back.
Yeah. I feel
All
that.
right. Well, thank you for joining us. Thanks for doing the debrief on Burning Man.
Anytime.
2025. And I can't wait. Maybe we'll do this again next year. We'll sit down next year before we go and we'll talk about what we're looking forward to. And
align our expectations.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I think that's a great idea.
Like I said, you kicked ass at Burning Man, my friend.
Thank you, my friend.
Love you very much.
I love you. And thank you all for listening. Check out your regional burn. Check out the Burning Man principles, and then go find some joy.
And you can go to burningman.org to find a list of Burning Man 10 principled events in your area, as well as the rest of the world. Because guess what, guys? It's a global thing. Mm-hmm. Absolutely do it.
And let's bring the burn back to communities.
Indeed. Yay.